a female Navy SEAL sniper decorated for her service with 3 Bronze Stars and a Purple Heart, was in a California courtroom facing charges. Things were about to get really bad for her until a high-ranking admiral entered the room. What happened next? No one could have predicted. All eyes were on the female Navy SEAL sniper. This decorated warrior was led into the courtroom by 2 male officers. Her hands were cuffed behind her back, and she walked with her head held high, refusing to let the gravity of the situation get to her. But some in the room could unhelp but wonder why someone with such a stellar record of service would be treated so poorly. The judge presiding over the case was known for his strict adherence to the law and his no-nonsense attitude. He had a reputation for handing down tough sentences, especially in cases involving those in the military. The prosecution was relentless, painting a picture of a troubled service member who had, as they put it, fallen from grace. They charged her with misconduct, insubordination, and other serious offenses. As the trial went on, tensions rose. The defense tried to portray her as a victim of circumstance, a talented sniper who had been pushed to her limits and made a terrible mistake. But the prosecution argued that her actions were inexcusable, that a decorated war hero like her should have known better. Just when the situation was at its most heated, the courtroom doors opened. All eyes turned toward the entrance. Standing in the doorway was a man in full uniform, his face stern, his eyes sharp. It was an admiral, someone of very high rank. He strode purposefully toward the judge's bench, his presence commanding immediate attention and respect. Everyone in the courtroom froze. The judge, who had been leaning forward intently, stopped his questioning mid-sentence. The prosecutor's sharp tone softened slightly. The defense attorney, who had been vigorously defending his client, paused his argument. All eyes were on the admiral. No one spoke. No one dared to break the silence. The air was thick with tension, and the question on everyone's lips was, who was this man, and what was he doing here? The admiral's presence had completely shifted the atmosphere in the room, his authoritative demeanor and imposing stature making it clear that something important was about to happen. After all, not many high-ranking officials would just drop by for an ordinary court proceeding. Then the admiral spoke, his voice echoing with authority. He introduced himself and stated, "I am here to represent the United States Navy and to pay my respects to this decorated service member." He then turned to the judge and said, "Your Honor, may I please speak with the defendant for a moment?" The judge, after a brief pause, nodded his head, indicating his approval. The admiral approached the female SEAL sniper, who looked up at him with a mixture of surprise and gratitude. He removed her handcuffs and, placing them on the table, said, "I want you to stand up, sailor." As she rose to her feet, he looked at the stunned faces around the room and said, "This woman is a hero. She has defended our nation with honor and distinction. To suggest that she would do anything that would tarnish her stellar reputation is preposterous." His words hung in the air, heavy with authority and respect. The courtroom, which had been buzzing with whispers and speculation, fell silent. The power of the admiral's words, silencing even the most skeptical. He then turned to the judge and said, "With all due respect, Your Honor, I believe this matter can be settled outside of court." After conferring with the other officers, the judge agreed to the proposal. What followed was a closed-door meeting between the admiral, the female SEAL sniper, and a few other military and legal officials. The details of their discussion remained confidential, but the outcome was evident. The charges against the sniper were dropped, and she was reinstated in the Navy with full honors. As she left the courthouse, she was met with a salute from her fellow service members, the respect and admiration in their eyes evident. For in that courtroom, the Admiral had not just spoken for the law, he had spoken for honor, duty, and respect for those who serve.